Well, you're not alone if you think certain words and phrases need to be banished from the English language. Michigan's Lake Superior State University just released its annual list of overused and misused words which should be banned, and the list is pretty interesting. John Shibley is the co-compiler of the Lake Superior State University's 40th annual Banished Words list. Woo, that's a mouthful. And he joins us from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. John, hi, welcome to Arise America.
Thanks for having me on.
It's so good to have you. So first of all, this list has been being compiled for many decades, about 40 years. How did it get started?
Cocktail party, faculty, staff, cocktail party. Everybody talked about words and phrases that were overused. So on New Year's Eve 1975, our director of communication went back to his office and drew up a list of 5 words and released it to United Press International. And he was expecting to do it just once, but it took off, and next year they received postcards and letters and phone calls, and it's been going ever since.
That's amazing. So how is this list then compiled? How are the words that are going to be on the list determined and picked for the list?
Entirely up to people who want to nominate words or phrases. We just jury it. We just edit it. It's an unpopularity contest is the way we refer to it. Whatever floats to the top gets the most votes. Ends up on the list. We also try to encourage people not to take it too seriously because we don't want to be word Nazis. We aren't trying to really cleanse English, but we're trying to look for a sense of humor. So the funnier the nomination, the better, the more clever it is. That gets us to slow down and think about how we express ourselves.
Yeah, and some of these really are clever and fun. So let's go through your top 5, and I want you to tell me why or how it made it onto the list. The first one is, I hadn't even heard of this, but BAE, which is a acronym for Before Anyone Else. Who uses this and what does it mean?
It's a shorthand. It comes from texting. Best friends forever, BFF. Well, BAE is a term of endearment, and I hadn't heard of it either. So our college students had. Polar vortex, they used to call them cold snaps. A hack, which is a clever set of tips. You just can't say tips anymore. It has to be a life hack. Rather than having a set of skills, you have a skill set, which is now a noun, I guess. And swag, which is a freebie. So anything you can do to spice up the English language, I guess, is fair game. But they just get tired of it, and they vote for it, and they vote often. We don't try to discourage people from patting the ballot box, and those were the 5 that floated to the top this year.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was reading through some of the people's explanations for why they nominated words, and that's just as entertaining as the word itself in many cases.
It is, and people have fun. They take the spirit of the list in that regard. If there's one thing that's serious, and I think a lot of people tap into this too, is to slow down and think about how we use words, because words are very powerful, they're entertaining. Some people protect their words, some people glom on to anything that's popular at the time. They're like fashion. You should always dress up. You should always express yourself through your language and your clothing and everything else that has some modicum of self-expression.
I want to run through just a few other words that made the list, not in a particular order, some of which I've heard, some I haven't. Curate or curated, which is very interesting. I have never heard of it being used in any other context but a museum. Friend-raising. Friend-raising, what is that?
Well, you probably hear about that through when there are foundations approaching you for money. Public broadcasting raises friends every time they look for money.
Okay, got it. And then I have heard of this one, cray-cray.
Yes. That's something from texting. That's just a pop culture, crazy, cray-cray. Again, these things show that the English language is evolving. We're not trying to discourage anybody from using them, but it's therapeutic. People write in and they get it off their chest and they have a little fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. We'll leave it right there for now, but what a fun list. John Shibley, thank you so much. Nice to speak to you.
Thank you.